Hi students, good evening. Today we are going to discuss about spherical mirrors and the image formed by the spherical mirrors. Now by the name spherical mirrors, usually there are two types of mirrors only we mean. What are the two types of spherical mirrors we have heard are? The concave mirror and the convex mirror. Other than this, some other curved mirrors like parabolic mirrors are also available. But up to 10th standard level, we are going to study only about the two types of spherical mirrors, namely the concave mirror and the convex mirror. Now, though the name is spherical, the entire mirror cannot be fully spherical. The mirror which we use are partly spherical. That means both the concave mirror and the convex mirror form a part of a sphere. Now you can see a full sphere, okay? And out of this, the mirror forms a portion. So M and N, M and N. And the remaining portion of the sphere, will be cut off. So that the actual mirror forms a portion of the sphere like this. So we have to imagine like this. Have you got a curve? Okay. So this is MN, which is a part of a sphere. And the sphere will have a center, geometric center denoted by C. And this point C is called the center of curvature of the mirror. So center of curvature is denoted by C, and it is defined as the geometric center of the sphere, out of which the concave mirror becomes a part. Similarly, you see that another type of mirror also, it is forming a part of a sphere. In the concave mirror, you see that the reflecting surface is bulged inwards, and the non-reflecting surface is outwards. So, since the reflecting surface is caved in, it is called a concave mirror. And in the other case, that is a convex mirror also, you can see a full sphere, and this is the center of the sphere, and out of this the mirror portion MN, okay, MN is the reflecting portion, and this is cut out of a sphere like this, okay. So this type of mirror in which the reflecting surface is bulged outwards is called as a convex mirror. And you can see the center of curvature of the concave mirror is in front, okay, that is in front of the mirror. And here you can see the center of curvature is behind the mirror, behind the reflecting surface of the mirror. Okay. Now what will happen if parallel rays of light will be incident, we are going to discuss. Before that, what I told you, center of curvature, it is the geometric center of the sphere, out of which the concave mirror or convex mirror becomes a part, and it is denoted by C. Now the midpoint of the mirror, is denoted by P, which stands for pole, okay. So P is called the pole of the mirror. So this is the pole. And the straight line which is passing through the center of curvature and the pole of the mirror is called as principal axis. It is called by the name what? Principal, okay, principal axis, okay. So any straight line which is passing through the center of curvature and through the pole of the mirror is called as principal axis. Now here for the convex mirror also, you can see that this is the center of curvature and this point is the pole, okay, the pole of the mirror. And here also two incident rays which are parallel to the principal axis. One more ray is passing through the principal axis. Now when parallel rays are incident on the concave surface, means they get reflected, and the reflected rays will pass through a point, like this, okay. This is the direction of the reflected ray. You can see that this is the direction of the reflected ray. Now some more rays which are also falling, which are parallel to these two rays, when they are incident on the concave mirror, all these rays will be reflected at a single point, which is denoted by F. and this point F is called as the principal focus. So F is called by what name I said? Principal focus. Okay. Now, in this mirror, all the parallel rays which are incident on the reflecting surface or the concave surface are converging at a point. That point is F. So, since all the reflected rays are converging and meeting at a point, the concave mirror is also called by another name. It is also called as converging mirror. Okay, converging mirror. Now what will happen if parallel rays are incident on the convex mirror? These also will be reflected. Okay, reflected. And you see that if this is a center of curvature, some point, namely principal focus, you have to draw the dotted lines first. Dotted lines. Okay, and here also by dotted lines you join this. And from this you continue the straight line. Okay, this is the direction of the reflected ray. Understand? So why do we represent by dotted line? Because that is not the actual light ray which is coming. It appears to come from the point F. So in the case of a convex mirror, so this at this point when the incident ray falls, it gets reflected along this path. So this is the actual light ray. But if we extend this, it appears to come from the point inside the mirror. So both F and C are inside or behind the convex mirror, where for a concave mirror, F and C both are in front of the mirror. Here, for a convex mirror, F and C are behind the mirror. Okay, it appears, that is, the reflected ray appears to come from the principal focus. Okay, okay. Now, this convex mirror, if you see the reflected rays, they appear to diverge away from the point F. So, what is the other name of a convex mirror is, it is also called a diverging mirror. Understand? So, what is the other name of a concave mirror? It is called as a converging mirror. And what is the other name of a convex mirror? It is a diverging mirror. Now, some other definitions you see. I said that Mn is the reflecting surface, and if you measure the distance between M and N, okay, the diameter, okay, the diameter of the mirror, Mn, that is called by the name aperture of the mirror. Because the mirror is cut from a sphere, from an entire sphere, the mirror is cut, it is like a bowl. So that bowl is having a circular aperture, okay. So the diameter only is called as the aperture of the mirror. Between M and N you measure the distance. The diameter of the reflecting surface only is called by the name aperture of the mirror. Okay. Then what is the point P called as? Already I told you that it is the midpoint of the reflecting surface of the mirror, and that is called the pole of the mirror. And F is the principal focus. And the distance between the pole and the principal focus, PF, this distance is called the focal length. And the focal length is always represented by small f. Okay, small f is called as the focal length. And it is the distance from the pole of the mirror to the principal focus. Similarly, the distance from the pole to the center of curvature, okay, that is denoted by capital R, and that is called as a radius of curvature, okay. So P to F is called focal length F, and P to C is called the radius of curvature, and it is also found that R is equal to 2F. The radius of curvature will be equal to twice the focal length. Understand? You have to remember this forever. R is equal to 2F, whether it is concave mirror or convex mirror. If you take a scale and measure the distance between P to F and F to C, both will be equal. Therefore, P to C distance is equal to twice PF. Therefore, R is equal to what? 2F. Okay, students, I hope you must have understood these definitions of pole, principal axis, radius of curvature, center of curvature, and principal focus. Okay. Now what we are going to study is, for every incident ray, how will be the reflected ray? Understand? For that I have considered 4 different positions of the incident rays using a concave mirror. So we are going to discuss about now concave mirror. And this is the point which is called as the principal focus, and this is the center of curvature. Now how you have to draw this diagram in the examination, I am going to teach you now. Okay. So first of all, you draw a concave mirror such that it is not too much curved, slightly flat, slightly like a plane mirror, slightly curved only you have to draw in the exam. If you draw using a compass, half circle means then the picture will not be clear. So follow these instructions. I have drawn a slightly curved and slightly plane also. Understand? That is sufficient. And the first itself you don't write F here, C here and all. First draw the incident ray and then you will write these informations. So I am going to first consider an incident ray. You see here, I have to keep the scale parallel to the principal axis, and I will draw a straight line. Okay, this is the incident ray. You see here, the incident ray. Is the incident ray passing parallel to the principal axis or not? Okay, how it will be reflected? The reflected ray should pass through the principal focus. Okay, so the reflected ray should pass through the principal focus. So this is the reflected ray. So this one is the incident ray and this is the reflected ray. And now you can note down the point as F, and this is what C, and this point is called the pole, and this is M and N. Okay, MN, the distance MN is also called as what? Aperture. Now what will happen? The reverse of this. If the incident ray is passing through the principal focus, what will happen? Let us see. So this is the diagram relevant to this. Okay, the incident ray is now passing through the principal focus like this. So this point is what? F. When it falls on the mirror means it gets reflected. Now the reverse is going to happen. So the reflected ray will now travel parallel to the principal axis like this. Okay, you have to keep the scale parallel to the principal axis and you have to draw the diagram like this. Okay, so this is the incident ray and this is the reflected ray. Okay, so if you want you can give some names for this. Okay, this is A and this is B and this is D. Like that here also you can just give some names for your remembrance. Okay, A, B, D. So AB is the incident ray which is traveling parallel to the principal axis means BD is the reflected ray passing through the principal focus. And here AB, the incident ray is passing through the principal focus means the reflected ray BD will be what? Parallel to the principal axis. So as usual the remaining points like P, C, M and N. Now the picture is complete. Okay. Now one more picture, let us take that. What will happen if the incident ray is falling at the point P itself? So on the mirror MN, now I will take a incident ray which is falling at the pole. So this is the incident ray which is falling at the pole itself. So here AP is the incident ray, and if this is the principal axis means the principal axis is perpendicular to the reflecting surface. So this is acting like a normal, and this is the point F and this is the point C. So that FP or PF or PC, this straight line acts like a normal to the reflecting surface, and hence the angle of incidence must be equal to an angle of reflection. So corresponding to this incident ray, the reflected ray will be emerging. The reflected ray will be emerging from P. Okay, we have to hold the scale in position and like this we have to draw. So this is the corresponding reflected ray. A P is the incident ray, PP is the reflected ray, and this angle R. So here I must be equal to R as per the law of reflection. Okay, students, when the ray is incident at the pole of the mirror, then it is reflected from the same point such that the angle of incidence is equal to the angle of reflection. And one more ray. What will happen if the ray is passing through the center of curvature. Okay, if the incident ray is passing through the center of curvature itself, so this is the corresponding ray. You see that this is the incident ray which is passing through the center of curvature. Center of curvature, see, from the center of curvature to the pole is called the radius of curvature. So any straight line drawn from the center of curvature to the reflecting surface will be normal to the reflecting surface, perpendicular to the reflecting surface. So when a ray is incident through the normal itself, the angle of incidence will be equal to 0. So angle of reflection also will be equal to 0. Therefore, what will happen? The ray will fall on the mirror and get reflected, and the reflected ray will retrace the same path but in opposite direction. Understand? So any incident ray passing through the center of curvature is having an angle of incidence 0 degree, and the angle of reflection also must be 0. Therefore, the reflected ray is coming retraced in the opposite direction. Okay, so these are the 4 incident rays and the corresponding reflected rays. This you must be very much thorough. Understand? Okay, students, what is the first case? When the incident ray is parallel to the principal axis, the reflected ray will pass through which point? The principal focus. The reverse of this. Second one, if the incident ray passes through the principal focus, then the reflected ray passes parallel to the principal axis. Okay? And the third case is what? When the incident ray falls at the pole of the mirror. Okay? It is reflected at the same angle. Understand? Okay? I is equal to R. And the fourth case is what? When the incident ray passes through the center of curvature. So any straight line drawn from the center of curvature to the reflecting surface of the mirror must be called as a normal. Okay? It is perpendicular to the reflecting surface. Therefore, any ray of light passing through the center of curvature will have an angle of incidence equal to 0 degree. So that the corresponding angle of reflection also will be equal to 0 degree. And hence the reflected ray will retrace the same path but in the opposite direction. Okay, students, I hope you must have understood what are the 2 types of spherical mirrors we have discussed today. One is called the concave mirror, which is also called as the converging mirror. The second one is called the convex mirror, which is also called the diverging mirror. Okay. So any spherical mirror is not fully spherical, it is a part of a sphere. So the entire sphere will have a center, and that is called as a center of curvature. So C is called the center of curvature, and P is the center of the mirror, and that is called the pole of the mirror. And F is called the principal focus at which all the reflected rays will converge in the case of a concave mirror and appear to come from that point in a convex mirror. Then we have studied that the radius of curvature is the distance from the pole to the center of curvature. R is a symbol, and the pole to the principal focus, this distance is called the focal length, denoted by what? F. And what is that relation connecting these two is what? R is equal to F. Okay, then one more point I will say, that is called as normal incidence. What do you mean by normal incidence? Whether it is a plane mirror or concave mirror or convex mirror, when light is incident normally means the incident ray travels along the normal. Understand? That means if you take a plane surface, a plane reflecting surface, and if this is a normal means through the normal the incident ray travels, so that it will be reflected along the same path. This only is called as what? A normal incidence. So this only is happening in the fourth case, in the case of a concave mirror. Okay. So next one is we are going to draw the same diagrammatic representation in the case of a convex mirror. Be ready for that. Okay. Now we will be considering the convex mirror for different incident rays. How to draw the reflected rays, you learn now. So I have advised you already how to draw the curved surface. It should not be too much curve. The steepness of the curve should be very less. That means almost flat, slightly curved. So since it is a convex mirror, you see that the outer surface is bulged, okay, bulged outwards. The reflecting surface is bulged outwards. and the inner surface, okay, is a non-reflecting surface. This is a straight line passing through the pole focus at the center of curvature. That is called the principal axis. Draw that. Then after drawing the principal axis at equal distance from the pole P, okay, from the pole P at equal distance you measure and keep dots. Approximately equal spacing means the picture will come very neatly. Now first how to draw the incident ray parallel to the principal axis. Keep the scale parallel to the principal axis and you draw a straight line. Now since the topic is ray optics or geometric optics, do not draw the diagram without using scale and pencil. Do not draw the diagram with ball pen and all. That is a bad practice. Which is a good practice is use scale and pencil. Okay, measure and draw. So this is the incident ray. And very important, whenever you draw any ray, be it incident ray or reflected ray, immediately the path of light, the direction of propagation of light, you have to mention. The arrow mark. The arrow mark indicates the direction of light. It is from left to right side. And when it is falling on the reflecting surface, now it is reflected and appears to come from the principal focus. So you have to use dotted lines only. Okay. On the right side, this is the principal focus and you have to draw a dotted line only. And you produce this line. This line produced outwards on the other side. This is the actual reflected ray. Understand? So this is for example, let us say this is AB is the incident ray and BD is the actual reflected ray. It is a diverging ray, is it not? Because the mirror is what? A convex mirror, it is a diverging mirror. So the light appears to come from which point? The principal focus, which is behind the mirror in the case of a convex mirror. Okay, the reverse of this. What will happen if the incident ray is falling at the principal focus? For that, how to draw is very, very important. You see here, this point, okay, this point is F, this is C. So you take a scale and you keep at F, okay, keep at F and this is the incident ray, okay. By dotted lines you join, okay, on the other side of the mirror you draw the dotted lines. And what I told you immediately after drawing this now, so this is the incident ray, okay, AB, okay, it is finally appears to fall at the point F, okay. Now it is getting reflected, like this, okay, from that is a point B, it is getting reflected. So this is D. AB is the incident ray and which is appearing to pass through the point F, but the reflected ray is parallel to the principal axis. Is it not? Okay. Now the third one is what will happen if the ray is incident at the point P, which is the pole of the mirror. So for that you draw a straight line passing through the pole of the mirror and you note down the angle of incidence and you will see that the reflected ray, okay, is coming from the point, same point P. So this is the reflected ray. So you can call it as now what? B. AP is the incident ray and PB is the reflected ray. And if this is the angle of reflection means then you measure that I and R will be equal to each other. Have you understood? Now the fourth one is the ray, incident ray is passing through the center of curvature, let us take. So first you note down the point F and C, keep the scale at C, okay, and from the mirror up to C, you will have to draw a dotted line, okay. Actually light is not entering and passing inside the mirror, okay, it appears to come, okay, from the point C. So that now you see that a straight line is shown like this, okay. This is the incident ray and this is A and this is B. AB is the actual incident ray. When it is produced, it appears to be incident at the point C. And from the distance from the center of curvature to any point on the surface of the mirror must be equal to what? Radius of curvature. And that line is called what? A dotted line BC. It is perpendicular to the reflected surface means then it is called the normal incidence. So the reflected ray must retrace the same path. So the arrowhead is reversed like this. So this is the reflected ray, okay. So AB is the incident ray means BA is the reflected ray. Understand? So that this is retracing its same path. Okay, my dear students, I hope you must have understood. So, whether it is a concave mirror or convex mirror, for every incident ray, there will be one reflected ray. And for every incident ray, how to trace the reflected ray, you must have understood. Using this only, in the next video, I am going to teach you how to form the images. So, the images may be real and inverted, or virtual and erect. Their size may be diminished or enlarged, or same size as that of the object. What factors does these depend on? These depend upon the position of the object, where you keep the object. Okay, where you keep the object, where the object can be kept. The object can be kept at infinite distance from the mirror, or it is just beyond the center of curvature of the mirror, or at the center of curvature, or between F and C of the mirror, or at the principal focus itself, or between the principal focus and the pole of the mirror. So depending upon the location and the position of the object, the different type of images can be formed. For this, you have to refer the textbook and look at the tabular column. They have given very clearly for every position of the object, what is the nature of the image, size of the image, and the position of the image. So in the next class, we are going to discuss about that. Until then, see you. Bye.